Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dee, and if you're not new here, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how I achieve this makeup look that I have on my headshots for Shoppers Drug Mart and Femme à Prix. So if you would like to learn how to get this fabulous sunset, oceany, work it honey vibes, just stay tuned and I'll show you how. Alright friends, so we're gonna jump right into the tutorial. My eyebrows have already been done off camera, and as always I primed my eyes using the Smashbox 24-hour eyeshadow primer. I just applied that everywhere here as a light thin base, and that's going to really help our eyeshadow apply better, look better, last longer, and blend easier. So I'm going to be using the Pure and Barbie collection eyeshadow palette. This was limited edition. It was gifted from Shoppers Drug Mart Femme à Prix in my last year's PR box. I'm going to be taking this beigey shade first on a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go in and start sketching out my crease. And as always, big circles towards the outside and little circles towards the inside. And this is going to work as our transition color, making sure everything applies nicely, smooth, and effortlessly. So once you've applied your first color, you should have something that looks like this. It's very soft, you can barely tell that it's there. That's the whole point of it. It's going to help diffuse that backdrop. Next, I'm going in with this really nice kind of peachy terracotta kind of color. So I'm just throwing that color right into the crease again and blowing it out. And you can take this as far out or far up as you like. I'm going for a pretty dramatic look today, so we're gonna build it up a bunch. Third color we're going to go into is this mustard yellow. I love it so much. It's a very unique color that's a little bit hard to come by. I'm just taking the smallest amount possible, and I'm going to change the angle of my brush, and just ever so lightly I'm going to pull that color in an upward direction, just really bringing it out. This color is strong, so I advise you to go little by little, or else you'll have a hard time blending it out. So you can see the difference. It just gives a little bit more warmth and shape and dimension. We're still keeping it controlled, but I find this really gives a lot to the look. And again, you can take this as far out, as high as you like. I'm going for a pretty dramatic look today, so I'm going to really take it out there. I'm just going to be taking a clean blending brush from Smashbox. It's pretty fluffy, just any brush that you have that's clean. And I'm going to be taking this top color and this bottom color, these two. And on that clean blending brush, I'm going to start sculpting the outer portion of my eye. So I'm just throwing this in the outer portion of my crease. I'm not bringing it all the way in like those other colors. Taking that chocolate brown now, and same thing, just layering one on top of the other. So you can see that by adding little by little, you have that control and depth, and you can take it as natural or as dramatic as you want. I'm going to build this up a little bit more. I'm also going to bring that chocolate dark brown onto my lid a little bit more, but again, take it as far or as intense as you see fit. Once you're done blending out those two darker colors, you should have something that looks like this. Again, you don't have to go as intense or as dark as I did, but I do want a little bit more depth to frame my eyes. And now we're gonna go in with my concealer. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer from Too Faced. I've used this multiple times before. I will continue to use it because it is impossible to finish. And I'm just taking a synthetic brush. This is a lip brush from H&M that was on liquidation for like $3. I'm just taking a little bit of that concealer and just right here in the middle of my lid towards the crease and in it. Not too much, because when you're gonna look up and you're gonna look around, do a little travel around the world, blink a couple times like really hard, and now you can see that it transferred up there, and that's what I want because it's gonna serve as a guide for me. I know how far to take up this accent color, and then it's not going to be smearing and smudging all day long because we kind of mapped it out in advance. So it's looking a little messy, so I'm just gonna tilt my head back. I find that it helps me see better the shape. And now there's nothing left on here, it's just whatever is remaining. I'm gonna start stamping out the shape that is naturally being created from my eye movement. Something like that. And then you're gonna take your finger so you should have something blended out like so on this side, and then that's the other side we're gonna do. So again, going back with my finger, and the heat is gently going to melt that product into my skin. But because I didn't put too much on, you can see it's not like smearing everywhere. It's kind of like a dry, light application. Just patting, 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 patting. And if you erased too much of your outer corner, it's fine. You can go back in and just add it. But I like to do that afterwards. You'll see why. So now that we have that done, it's time for our accent color. Honestly, with this palette, you can do any accent color. There's so many beautiful different shades. Like you have all of these stunning shimmers, and I've played with them before. But today, my friends, today we're gonna be using this one. This one is calling my name today. So I'm taking that gorgeous like blue-green emerald kind of color just on a dense semi-flat brush. And I'm just going to pack this pretty much everywhere on top of that concealer. Pat, 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 pat. I'm gonna leave the inner 1/3 bare though. I want to do a different color there. And I'm really pressing the pigment here on the mobile lid so it's the most concentrated and magnetic and majestic. But then as I get a little bit higher, I'm not adding product, I'm just diffusing it. Because I don't want it to be blending out everywhere, because then you're gonna cover all of that beautiful sunset background we got going on. It's always easier to add more product than it is to remove it. So once your face makeup is done, it should look something like this. I'm going to be continuing my eyes now that my concealer has been applied and set. And I'm taking the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Smog. And I'm just going to lightly sketch my lower lash line, but I'm not going the whole way. I'm just going to go 3/4 of the way. And then taking a smudging bullet brush, I'm going to go in with that third color that we used and just ever so lightly and gently smudge and smoke out that eyeliner. If you want to make it darker, go ahead. If you want to do another pop of color here, go ahead. I have an idea though, so I just want to balance out the composition. Okay, so once you've blended out your lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with that stunning mustard tone, like the smallest amount. And I'm just gonna smoke out my lower lash line. Just because it's so diffused on the upper lid, and then if you have like a harsh line on the bottom, I find it just looks weird. It doesn't look balanced. And I will take any excuse to use that mustard tone because it is beautiful in my opinion. I like this, but it needs more. So we're gonna jazz it up with some stoned vibes from